What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today I want to look at what is one of my personal favorite designs from Alchemy. This is not coming in the new Alchemy Horizon set. This is actually from the new Capenna Alchemy set, and that is Agent of Raffine. It is a 1-2 for 1. Is a human rogue with pay 2 tap, choose target opponent, conjure a duplicate of the top card of their library into your hand. It perpetually gains. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast this spell. Then they exile the top card of their library face down. Now, I find this card especially interesting because if you told me there was a 1-2 for 1 with the ability pay 2 tap, draw a card on it, I would say that's phenomenal. I'm putting it in all my blue decks. Like, I just am. Like, if I have 2 free mana lying around at instant speed, I can just draw a card. Sweet. And in this case, you're effectively doing that. However, you're not drawing your card. You're drawing your opponent's card. And you get to do this over and over and over again. I think this ability is very, very cool. And it gets the text where you can spend mana as over mana of any color. I also feel like there should probably be a keyword for that. Because the other thing that I want to talk about with this card is the mountain of text that there is on this card to say a very specific or very simple idea. You're drawing the top card of your opponent's library. This is a digital only card. I understand that physical Magic will never have one of your opponent's cards occupy a space in your hand. That is one of those unspoken rules that they will never let happen, and I believe the reason for that is they don't want people walking off with their opponent's cards when the game is over, or get it accidentally shuffled into their deck, which, okay, fine, I get that. In this day and age with card sleeves, that's going to be a lot harder to pull off because the chances of you and your opponent having the exact same color or artwork on your sleeves is pretty minimal, but it could happen, I suppose, so fair enough. Or I suppose if you're playing in a limited environment, you're playing unsleeved or whatever the case may be. So, okay, that's a factor. That's a thing. They don't want you to do that. Fine. This isn't a paper card though. This is a digital card. And I find it very interesting that they chose to put all of this legalese that we've become familiar with on Magic cards onto this because they don't have to. This card could very easily have simply said pay 2 tap, choose target opponent, draw the top card of their library. Actually, even then, on Arena, this is a 1v1 client. You wouldn't even have to say choose target opponent. It could just simply be tap, pay 2, tap, draw the top card of target opponent's library. You may spend mana as though mana of any color to cast it. It could be that simple. There's no reason that this card doesn't have that. And if you think that there's some kind of arbitration around card rules, I would like to present to you with a card that's from another card game. Actually, this is from the card game Eternal, which came out years before MTG Arena and was designed to be digital only. The whole point was digital only. Huge shout out to my buddy DuoCat for getting me into Eternal and for constantly talking about it on my stream chat, by the way. But the card I want to mention is Pilfer. So this is a legal card in Eternal, which is a separate game, again, digital only, not in physical, and it just says, for 1, and this is a spell, so it's effectively a sorcery, for 1, draw the top card of the enemy deck. It's the same effect, the exact same effect, but in this case also you do have the mana color issue, which in Eternal is handled by something called Influence, slightly different, but the idea is the same. So that's a factor that you need to work into. So if in that situation, if you're going to be drawing multiple cards from your opponent's decks or your opponent's deck rather, and they're in different colors than you do need to draw into the lands to actually get the influence you need to cast the spells, which is kind of interesting. But in the case of Magic, they could very easily bypass that for playability purposes and simply add the you may spend mana of any color to cast it text after you draw the card from your opponent. Keep it that simple. Now, the other thing, from a functional perspective, what that will do is it will no longer put the card into exile. But frankly, it going into exile face down is simply it being removed from the game. Like, remember, the exile zone used to be called being removed from the game. So that the goal, as I understand it, looking at this card, the goal of removing it from your opponent's top deck, or the goal of exiling it face down is to just get it off the top of the library. That's it. And the fact that it's exiled face down means your opponent can't see what the card is. So they don't even get information on what it is. So why don't you just draw the freaking card? Why does this have to be shoehorned into the conjure mechanic? So I wanted to talk about that because I think this card, if you're not currently playing Alchemy, which I understand, by the way, this card is very, very cool. It's a neat design, and it's a cool experimentation of the Alchemy space. And it's powerful. Like, this has some beef to it. I like this card a lot. I've actually been playing it in some of my Alchemy decks. Well, one of my Alchemy decks, because I only have a handful. But it's been fun. The card is very, very cool. It's very, very effective. But I just kind of wanted to point out how silly this text is. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one.